Hello and Happy New Year! It's been a while. I decided recently that I'd like to re-engage with makeup and make some videos and just play around a little bit in a direction that I haven't been. So I'll talk about this a little bit more in a bit, but I stopped wearing makeup for quite a while. Had to grapple with the expired products and figuring out what to do, and decided that I'd like to maybe start doing some reviews again, start doing some, get ready with me, different looks kind of things. So that is my plan, but it's been a while. It's gonna take me a bit to kind of get in the groove of it again, and I'm just happy to have you here. So if you're new, you probably are. My name's Audrey. I have dry skin, rosacea, and I'm in my 40s, so I have a lot of particular needs for skincare and foundation and things like that that are really based on that. I also, I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's a notoriously casual part of the world, so I don't have a lot of need for makeup that's like the full gloss kind of thing, unless, I'm dressing up for in more of a costumey kind of way even. But for me, the thing that's most useful right now is to have sort of basic routines that, look fine on a Zoom call, pull things together, make me feel a little bit less undead this time of year. We did have some daylight, but it was so dark all day. Dark enough that I slept in and the cats were like, oh, is it morning already? Which does not normally happen. So yeah, that's what, just kind of what I'm thinking about. Thanks for being here. And I've already put my base makeup on, so we're gonna cut to that and then I'll move on to the next part of my routine. All right, let's see if I remember what I'm doing here. I'm a little froggy today, which I think is just allergies, So for a base, I'm going to start with the Jones Road What the Foundation. I've got this in the lightest shade, which is Alabaster. And this has been a really good match for me. We might hear kitty cat in the background, who generally this time of day is like, what are you doing? Why are you in your office? Because yes, we're in my office, which is kind of the easiest place for me to just sit down and film something. So that's what I'm going with. I have a tray of things I grabbed that I'm hoping will work. With this, I find that and I guess I'll find out when I edit if, how audible he is. So with the What the Foundation, I find that the best option is to put a really tiny dab of it on and blend and then add more. Because it can be, if you start trying to apply it like any other product, you'll put way too much on too fast. And then the texture feels weird. Whereas if I start with just the smallest amount, then it'll sort of disappear into the skin, which is fine. Because in the end, what I want is something that doesn't really look like I've got anything on. So I'm not applying it to get a full coverage effect. I'm really just smoothing things out, calming down some of the, winter rosacea flare that is hard to totally take care of otherwise. And yeah, smooth things out. So it's also different doing it under this light than in my bathroom, which is really not that well lit. And I guess if I'm going to film in here, I'll have to tinker with lighting and everything to get it to where you can see enough detail without blinding myself. But stuff to figure out. So I guess I can talk about, I stopped wearing makeup in 2025. Just didn't touch it. Didn't really have the wherewithal to pay attention to any number of things. you probably can relate. But for me, I just, wasn't feeling inspired. And, I stopped making videos, not really deliberately, but just because I wasn't wearing makeup. And I thought, well, I do kind of want to do something, maybe build some of this back into my routine, and I could take you along for the journey. So we see where else I might want some. I think some of the brighter spots, I grabbed a concealer. I might do a little bit more with them, but I think I'm just going to go for like what feels comfortable texture-wise. So.
Okay.
And I just, it's a little late in the day for this, but I only just rinsed my face and put moisturizer on, so things are also a little bit pinker as a result of that.
Wow.
But this is what I've been doing the last few days, and it's just nice to look in the mirror and see something that's a little bit glossier. Not like in a literally shiny way, but, a little bit less raw. So, alright, I'm going to go with that for now. And the next step, let's see. The next step is the under eye color corrector that I was really liking. I picked up a new one because, and you'll see after this a declutter video, I went through and figured out what things just, obviously had been sitting around too long, and that's just one of those consequences of not wearing makeup for a period of time that, the products you have, they're going to go bad. This fortunately seems to be still doing fine, and there were some things that I didn't have to toss, but I think a thing that I've learned throughout my adult life is that you just often have to kind of pick up and start over and get going again and deal with things wherever they are. And especially with ADHD, because it can be so hard to focus on things when they lose their initial spark. Sometimes that happens a lot. You don't want to see what my fridge looks like right now. So, I think going into a new year, it's just a practice to remind myself of that, you're going to have things that didn't happen the way you thought they would, or didn't get used when you thought they would, and you just start over wherever you are. So I'm hoping that this was one of the surprising winners for me product-wise, the color correcting eye brightener from e.l.f. in, what shade is this? Fair. It's just kind of a eraser pink. But this is one of those products that I didn't know if I would like or use, and it turns out that it really made a difference. So I'm hoping that, time passes, it's been over a year, things could sit differently on my skin. I'm a, year older, let's say a year and a half older than when I first tried this product. And in your 40s, if you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s, I'm sure you've gone through periods where you're like, wow, my skin has still changed so much. And, it changes what things are working for you and how and all of that. So, but I think the way I was doing it was to just kind of put a little on my finger. A slightly more organized person probably would have gone back and watched some videos to figure out what was working and what did I like. And I didn't feel like doing that, so I didn't. It was, much like starting the channel in the first place was kind of an impulse. Starting it up again is also, you know, not something that I deliberated for a long period of time. Last week I thought, why not? Let's just give it another go. And see, you know, whether there's something about this that would help me cope, deal. I mean, I was job hunting then and I'm job hunting now, and it's a exhausting process. So that's part of it too, that like it would be nice to get on a Zoom call and just be like, all right, I look like me. Instead of like hoping that there's enough daylight and I can kind of, you know, turn the zoom filter on, whatever. Yeah. I don't know if that made a difference or not. We'll see. But product seems about the same as I remember. And for me, really, it's not that, you know, like I don't have dark under eyes or a lot of discoloration. I just have really translucent skin there. So a lot of this, what this does is make things less translucent. So this will be just a direct cut for you, but now that I have this much on, I'm going to film an intro while it sets. You know, I find that what the foundation, it really looks its best about 15 or 20 minutes in, when it's had a chance to just sort of set in place and soak in, you know? So yeah, we'll do that. And then probably I'll be on to brows. We'll see. All right, brows. I grabbed a variety of things. I have, I think, 4 pencils here and some clear brow gel. I had to replace this one. But for my not particularly like thick or wiry brows, like having a light gel like this tends to work really well. And I think what I have is like 2 fine point pencils and 2 regular pencils in 2 shades. And when I filmed the declutter yesterday, I swatched a little bit, but I kind of want to have a look at it again under this light and see. So this is not color labeled anywhere I can see, but this is kind of a darker brown. It's possible I'm not going to fill in a lot, but I want to know what I'm working with. So there's that. I think I learned last time that if I do that side of my wrist, it's really hard to film it. Here, I'll redo it on the part that's easier to show on camera. Then I'll just have weird stripes everywhere. So there's that one. And then this is the more like blonde taupe option. Probably a better choice for me color-wise. And then this is the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. And I can't promise that, I mean, again, like over a year has passed. I don't know if all of these products are still available in their, you know, in the form that I have them, but it's what I have on hand. So hopefully it'll translate to useful information, or, you know, me stabbing myself with a dried out pencil will be entertaining enough to make up for it. Yeah, this one's dead. We'll just set that aside. All right, and the other Ultra Precise pencil also, this one's darker. Let me just see if I can get a little bit out of this. And then it breaks off. That's a fun thing to pick out of the carpet later. Seems like there's sort of a medium brown and a darker brown. I don't think either of the Ultra Precise ones are going to be that useful to me. I think what I'm going to do, oh, well, here's some swatches of different colors that I don't know the names of, so that's questionable utility. I think what I'm going to do is comb my eyebrows and just dropping things everywhere. This is fine. Totally fine. The point of this video was for me to just film a thing. So here we go. Going to comb them. And put a little bit of the clear brow gel in there. And then if there's like gaps, I don't think that there will be a lot, but just maybe fill in. Or actually, I think one technique I tried was to sort of lightly like draw in a shadow under the brow. So let's give that a try. Sounds like it could be nice. So this is the Clear Brow and Lash Mascara from e.l.f. I guess the difference between the two sides is probably just the brush. Like, I'm staring at it like, which one's which? That one says brow. Okay. You know, I hope that you had some moments of peace in your holidays. Mine were pretty quiet, but the years when they're not, they're really not, you know. So, one of the things I noticed when I was starting to just look at what other content creators are doing, get kind of an idea of like what have I missed, was that there's a lot of people who switched to doing like more like beauty and fashion or beauty and lifestyle. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, as you can see behind me, the synthesizers, I don't think there's a lot of crossover interest between like concealer and experimental music, but if there is, if that's you, please let me know. I will link to my other channel if it turns out that, well, I don't know. Okay, so where am I going with this? The lighter colored pencil. Actually, let's let that sit for a minute. And I also have the Jones Road face pencil in shade 1. And I'm thinking, let's just see if there's anything I want to spot conceal while my brows are drying. Like, could maybe do a little bit here. Yeah. I don't know, whatever's going on there. I ran out of one of the things I use for rosacea treatment just a few days ago, and I can already notice the difference. So that's another thing I need to email my doctor. Okay. Yeah. It's just toning it down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. I don't want to do it so much that there's kind of like a weirdly blank spot there, but I think that sort of blends together. And since I have the light slightly off center, I have to remember to turn and look at the other side. What else? No one but me is going to see this today. And, you know, all of you on the internet. So I don't have to be super precise, but maybe a little bit of that too. All right, something. Let's okay, pencil. Like I said, I don't think I need to do a lot here, but what if I put just a tiny little bit under here, like this? Because there's a little bit of a gap there.
What?
since I have basically invisible brows on my own. I have done like a darker brow gel at times, but it always takes me like an hour when I've done it to stop looking in the mirror and going like, who is this? Who are we looking at right now? Because I'm just so used to them, you know, being nearly invisible. But, okay, there's that. If you can't tell yet, I'm going for pretty minimal. It's the middle of winter in the dark. Okay, so I feel like I look better than I did when I started. That's a plus. I'm not going to do eye makeup today. It is, let's find out what time it is. It's like it's so late that, yeah, 5:07. It would just feel silly to me to put any work into that and then be taking it off as soon as, you know, like as soon as I get done with chores tonight. So, but what I do want is something on my lips, which are a little dry. So I grabbed a bunch of different lip things in hopes that one of these would seem like inspiring and fun thing. So, just, you know, everyone's got different reasons for wearing makeup. For me, even on a day when I'm, you know, like not looking to do much of anything, when I have like a pretty significant rosacea flare, or even just a little bit, I don't like wearing bright lipstick because I feel like it just makes all of the bright colors that are on my face more obvious. So for me, like one of the main reasons to put any amount of like foundation on in a day is just so that I can have like a better starting point for wearing whatever color of lipstick I want. So I don't know, that might seem silly, but that's how it is. This is the NYX Butter Gloss in, I think, Creme Brulee? No, Madeline. So that's an option. I have two Mauve lipsticks. This is M58. Or I should say I have a lipstick and then one of their lip balm type things. Yep. Which, both of these are nice formula. The sort of glossy balm is in M139. The cap is slightly stuck on. So there's that. It's kind of a neutral brown. I feel like going too neutral when it's already like super gloomy out might be a mistake. So we could do a nice soft pink, or I did the butter gloss yesterday, and this was nice, but definitely a neutral look. I also grabbed the NYX Slick Click in, this is the clear one with glitter, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm feeling sort of pale and rosy at the same time. I don't know that glitter lips are going to do much for like my mental state. That's what this is about. I also have the clear NYX lip oil. And what else? The Sephora Shine lipstick in, this was like one of my favorite summer reds. Again, color names. I don't know why I always think like, sure, I'll sit here and read tiny print. My eye doctor says I don't need reading glasses yet, but like, I can tell depending on the lighting. I'm starting to get there. Yeah, I don't know. I have it written down somewhere. Okay, so, nope, not bright. We're gonna go with the Mauve one. Pink. Also just dry, which probably means I'm dehydrated. Drink water. such a nice formula. I really like the stuff of theirs I've tried, and it's still a goal for me to dig into their product range more. Of course, again, like, who knows, the company could be completely different than it was a year ago. I feel kind of out of touch in a lot of respects. Let's see, how do I like that with this? I think once my face stops being quite so flushed from touching it, this will probably be a good combo. Right now I'm just feeling a little, you know, extra pink. Not doing blush because, again, like, I would just feel clownish right now. And I need to reassess the bronzer options. You know, when you see the declutter, you'll see that I have some powder things that I haven't tried yet, and then all my favorite cream products are pretty much dried out and not usable. So, and because of the unemployment situation, I can't just go, like, rebuy everything. So, you know, part of what I need to do is to figure out, like, a really judicious approach to just replacing the things that are going to be the biggest impact for me. So, but I think that'll be part of what could be interesting about me making some videos. So, all right, I'll look some things on my face. I guess, so that means I wrap up, right? In conclusion, I don't know what's going to happen with the channel. You know, I feel a little silly making a couple of videos and then being like, I don't know if I'm going to be on a regular schedule. I just don't. A lot depends on what happens, you know, in the next month, and as I'm looking for work and figuring out, like, what other kinds of projects can sustain me, figuring out where to put my creative energy. I just don't know. But I wanted to put this kind of into the collection of things that I am doing and can do. And I have, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 video ideas that I know I'd like to tackle. So after that, we'll just see where things go. But if you were here before and you're back, then I'm really happy to see you. If you just happen to stumble across this video, either, you know, here in January 2026 or at some point in the future, you know, also really happy you found your way here. I imagine that, you know, you all have lots of feelings about, like, you know, how you're feeling in this world and what it means to put on a, you know, a face of something to go out and face it. And I would just love to hear any of your thoughts. I think in terms of products, the main area that I'm going to focus, like, in the near future, aside from, like, what are the core essentials that I need to, you know, be able to put together whatever I feel like wearing today, is looking at what the drugstore foundation options look like now. I know that, I mean, drugstore pricing has gone up and up and up, but so has the high end and the luxury. And I think there are probably a lot of people that might see the sort of aspirational products and think, well, that's great, but, you know, what am I going to go buy today that I can put on and wear? Especially if you are over 40 and have rosacea and have dry skin and all those kinds of things. So I have been doing just a little bit of research and watching reviews and things to try to figure out what products make the most sense for me to maybe put together, like, a, you know, 3, 4, maybe 5 foundation kind of roundup. So that is, yeah, that's kind of the next thing I'm aiming for. If there are particular things that you'd like to see me try, leave a comment, let me know. I'm interested to hear, like, what you're excited about right now in terms of trying or playing with, or, you know, like, what do you want to get out of makeup in 2026? Let me know. And also, if you got this far, you watched to the end of the video, leave an emoji heart in the comments, just any color. You don't have to say anything else, but I would love to see that, you know, rainbow of little hearts there from people who stop in. So bye for now. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.